In a quiet corner of rural America, nestled between gentle hills and winding country roads, lived a farmer named Tom. Tom had been working the same stretch of land his entire life. The fields, the trees, the tools, they all bore the mark of time, as did Tom himself. Weathered by years of sun and labor, he remained steady and hardworking, rooted deeply in the soil of tradition. On this land lived an old donkey named Buddy. Buddy had been with Tom for years. He was no longer young or strong, but he was loyal. His gait was slow, his back bent with age, but his eyes still held the quiet wisdom of one who had seen many seasons come and go. Tom no longer relied on Buddy for work, but he kept him around out of habit and affection. To Tom, Buddy was more than a working animal. He was a companion, a memory of better times. One warm morning, as golden sunlight broke through the trees and painted streaks across the barn, Tom went about his chores, unaware of the trouble about to unfold. While wandering near the edge of the property, Buddy stumbled into an old, unused well hidden behind tall grass. It was narrow, deep, and long forgotten. With a heavy thud and a startled bray, Buddy fell to the bottom. Hours passed before Tom noticed that Buddy hadn't returned. As worry set in, he began searching the fields, calling out. His neighbor, Mike, happened to pass by and joined the search. It wasn't long before the two men heard faint noises coming from the old well. They peered in and saw Buddy, dirty and shaken, staring up from the darkness. Tom's heart dropped. He immediately began assessing how to pull the animal out, but the well was deep and narrow. After several failed attempts to retrieve Buddy, Tom sat on the grass, discouraged. He stared into the pit and saw Buddy, still alive, still calm, still waiting. "I can't do it," Tom said to Mike, defeated. "He's too old. It's too deep. There's no way to get him out without risking one of us. Maybe this is just how it ends for him." Mike said nothing. He understood the difficulty but felt a tug of sympathy. Tom sighed heavily and made a decision, one that broke his heart, but seemed necessary. He would bury Buddy. The old donkey had lived a long life, and it was, Tom told himself, a kinder end than leaving him to suffer at the bottom of a well. So Tom fetched a shovel, and Mike joined him. They began to throw dirt into the well. One scoop at a time, they dropped the soil, murmuring quiet apologies as the dirt fell over Buddy. Their hearts ached, but they believed it was the only option left. Yet something remarkable happened. At first, Buddy panicked as the dirt hit his back. But then, instead of giving in to despair, Buddy shook it off. Each time the dirt landed on him, he would shake it off and step up. Dirt, shake, step. He didn't know what the men were trying to do. All he knew was that he wasn't ready to give up. He would keep moving, keep rising, one small effort at a time. Tom and Mike kept shoveling, unaware of the transformation happening below. Hour after hour passed. Then, to their astonishment, they looked down the well and saw something they never expected: Buddy's ears, then his head, then his back. He was rising. The very dirt meant to bury him was lifting him higher. Finally, with one last step, Buddy clambered out of the well, dusty and tired but alive. He blinked in the sunlight, gave a short bray, and trotted toward the barn as if nothing had happened. Tom and Mike stood speechless. They had tried to bury the old donkey, but his spirit wouldn't allow it. He had used their attempts to end his journey as the very means to continue it. Dirt, shake, step, over and over again, until he was free. Word of Buddy's escape spread quickly through the town. Children listened wide-eyed as their parents retold the story. Teachers shared it in schoolhouses, and the old gathered in cafes to marvel at the lesson hidden in the dust of that day. The tale of Buddy the donkey became more than a local legend. It became a beacon of resilience. For the farmer, it was a lesson in humility. For the neighbor, a lesson in hope. And for everyone else, it was a story of the quiet, powerful force that lives inside us all. Buddy returned to his quiet life, grazing in the fields, never once speaking of what had happened. But those who watched him from afar swore that he walked with a little more pride after that day, as if he knew that even when life throws its weight upon your back, Even when others give up on you, what matters most is what you do next. Shake it off. Step up. Over the seasons that followed, the story was told again and again. Parents told it to their children during hard times. Teachers used it to inspire struggling students. And in moments of quiet reflection, many would look out over the fields and remember the donkey who wouldn't give up. Tom, the farmer, never forgot. Every time he saw Buddy grazing in the pasture, he was reminded of that moment how he almost gave up on someone who hadn't given up on himself. Tom began to see things differently. He treated all his animals with more care, his neighbors with more kindness, and his own heart with more patience. Mike, too, carried the story in his heart. It gave him comfort during difficult days. When his own farm faced hardships, he thought of Buddy. When life felt like a well too deep to escape, he remembered the simple rhythm: dirt, shake, step. Over the years, Buddy grew older still. His steps slowed, his coat grayed, but his eyes never lost that quiet fire. Even as he aged, the village saw him not as just a donkey, but as a symbol of endurance. He became a reminder that it's not strength alone that defines us, but perseverance. Eventually, Buddy passed away peacefully in the barn he had known for most of his life. The village mourned, and Tom built a small wooden marker under a tree by the well. On it he carved the words, "Here rests Buddy the brave, who taught us to rise above." And so, Buddy's story endured. In every trial, every setback, and every seeming dead end, his legacy whispered softly through the wind, "Shake off what tries to bury you. Step up, not down. What tries to end you may be what helps you grow." Because resilience, like Buddy, doesn't need recognition. It just needs belief. Moral of the story: sometimes life throws dirt on us, difficulties, judgment, setbacks, even betrayal. But what really matters is how we respond. Do we give up and let it bury us? Or do we shake it off, step up, and rise? True resilience comes from within. It's not about having all the answers or all the strength, it's about not quitting. Like Buddy, you may find that what others see as the end is actually your beginning. So when life tries to bury you, remember this: shake it off, step up, keep going.